Hey everyone, it's great to be back. James here. It's been a while since I was able to focus on making a new tutorial, but I'm ready to dive in with a fantastic project. After a bit of a break, I found myself back in Genshin Impact, and like any 3D artist, I completely got obsessed with one question. How do they make everything look so good with such an efficient low poly style? It's deceptively simple, and my artistic brain had to figure it out. I zeroed in on one of my favorite weapons, the Mitternachts Waltz Bow. I'm not going to bite my tongue trying to pronounce that German word, but it's Fischl's signature weapon, and it translates to the Mitternachts Waltz Bow. Genshin art style, it's a masterclass. A cool mix of sharp, low-poly geometry blended with incredible stylized details. We are going to be breaking down that exact approach in Blender. And to model along with me, the reference images are available, link in the description. Let's dive in. Let's go through the pre-production of making an asset. There are some things you need to think about, you need to consider before you eventually start making an asset or a prop. Start by going through the key details of the assets you want to model. This is something that would become part of you as you make more stuff. But sometimes, it is a good practice to write down some important information about what you want to model. What is the asset? Where will it be placed? How often will it be used? How large is it? Will it need multiple materials? Is it a key piece of an environment, something like an era asset? Generally, any details you would want to think about before you commence modeling. It is also good to know how the asset is in real life. Once you've figured out those details, you can begin searching online for references. One of the tools I use for gathering references is PureRef. It is important to have a ton of views, mostly when it's something you don't physically have access to. It's good to get the top view, the down view, the side view, the three-quarters view. Just gather lots of references, because gathering references is another key process. It's good for you to know more about what you want to model. So take your time and gather references, study them. Another thing to note is finding out the scale of the assets you want to model next to a humanoid. When you are done with all of these, you can now go to your modeling software of choice. I'll be using Blender. Now that I have my Blender open, I'm going to save this project so that my autosave can be running in the background. Next thing I like to do is importing a size reference into my scene. But I already have this in my scene. This is already saved by default, so whenever I open Blender, this is what shows on my scene. It's a crucial thing to note. The size of this reference is 1.7 meters tall, and I think an average height of a human should be, say, 1.8. This could be another reference if you do not have access to a humanoid base mesh character. This base mesh character came from the Blender human base mesh free resources, so you can get that. Now, depending on what or who I am working for, I might start with a block art phase. But this time around, I am going to skip that and just start modeling. Let's proceed. I'm going to add these references. I have my PureRef over here with my references loaded. I'm checking out my different references. Okay, and then I'm going to hide it. And now I want to add in another reference image that will guide me through the modeling process. So I'm going to bring this one, and then I'll bring another one. I'll bring just both of them, and then I'll move them to my reference collection. I just named this to be reference collection, and I added a new collection. I called it the bow, so I'll be making the bow over here. Now I'm just going to rename my references, and then I'm going to turn on opacity and then just reduce the opacity a tad. Select both of them, making sure that I am just doing the preliminary settings. So I'm going to hide that one. Now leave this one active because this one I'm going to use to make the grip, and I want to align it to the center so that I can use a mirror modifier to go. So I'll press Shift A and I'll go to, I won't be using a mesh primitive this time around. I'll just use a curve, and I'll use Bezier curve. I'll move it to the X, get it down. Then I'm going to add in the mirror modifier. I am not going to move it in the X because I want the origin to be in the center. So I'll go to edit mode, move it in the X. So the origin remains in the center. And now, I don't know if you can see the Bezier curve over here. Can you see it? This is it over here, okay? So I'm going to add in the mirror modifier, and I'll enable clipping. So let's load in our reference. Go to edit mode, select the first undo type, and then I'm going to just move it over here. And I'll make it vector. Get this other point, move it over here, arrow to rotate. Then I'll make it vector. V, I'll say V and then vector, okay? Then I think I should turn down the opacity of the image some more so that you'll be able to see much better. Okay, so let's proceed. E to extrude over here, E to extrude here, and then I'll set this undo type to be aligned. Then I'm going to adjust this one. So now it's going to just fit in into this shape. That is what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to speed through this process. I'm contemplating if I should go down like this or if I should go like this. I think I'll choose this one. Don't know if there's any need to adjust it. I will come back and do the correction. For now, let's just lock it out, if I'm allowed to use that word. Okay, so let's enable clipping and then let's fix both of them. Nice. So when I right click and convert to mesh, I'll open this menu down here and I'll make sure keep original is enabled so that the curve is still going to be available while the new mesh object is going to be generated. Okay, so when I check it out and I saw that this part is too dense, I had to delete it. I still have the original one, so I can go back to the original one, reduce the resolution to somewhere around 6. Okay, and then I'll right click and then I can say convert to mesh. Okay, this is fine, but I can do it better. Still don't want this dense part and then this one, so I'm going to go, I'll go around and just remove some, rather dissolve some vertices. Select this other half like this, and I'm going to delete it, and then I'll add in the mirror modifier. Okay, so I'll select everything, and then I'll go to my edge selection mode, and then I'll select, I think I prepared this edge, and then I'm going to use the loop tools, and I'll say space. Okay, I don't want this part to be selected. Okay, and then once again, right click loop tools, and I'll say space. Okay, this is better. If you don't have the loop tools enabled, you come to edit, preferences, add-ons, and then you just search for loop tools, and then you see it over here. Okay. Okay, so after converting to mesh and the loop cuts, so I'm going to, I'll add in a vertex point here in the control arrow feature, and then I want another one here too. So I'm just going to select all of them like this, press F to fill in the face, select this, press F to fill in the face, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this while pressing F. Okay, so as for this part, because of here is smaller and here is longer, you will have to do some manual cleanup. You see, I don't want this slant, so I'm going to select it, and then I'll manually adjust it like this. Okay, so I can do this, adding a loop cut, fill this in. Okay, let's see what we have. I think this is okay for now. So my wireframe preview, I'm just thinking of how now to join this to this part. Okay, so if you can see clearly from the reference, we have this kind of nice edge flow around the model like this. Okay, so I want to try and do same thing. Okay, so I'll add in a loop cut over here, add in another one over here, add in another one with the control arrow, another one over here, I'll add in one over here and another one over here. Okay, so for this one, I'll select this vertex and I'll press V to repeat. So I'll repeat out and then just adjust it. Now I'll join this together. As for this, I am just going to extrude it out and then fill it in. So now I'm thinking of how to join this one to this one. So what I'm going to do, I'll add in two loop cuts here, I'll add one here, and then I'll add one here. Let's see what can be done. So I'll do this. Okay, let's see. I can take this one out, adding a loop cut over here. Don't know if it's going to make sense. Fill this in, fill this in, fill this in, and then fill this in. Okay, it worked. But now I just need to clean the topology a bit. But I think I don't like this. I don't like this because I want it to flow like this. Okay. I think I have to delete this vertex. Then okay. So we need to figure out how to join them together. Yeah, did the same thing. I'm thinking on how to go about this part. So let's delete this vertex. Have this one there, and then this one over here. Okay, no, let's put this one around here. Yep. I don't know. Let's see what's gonna happen. So I'm going to extrude this part out like this. Okay. Just putting loop cut over here. Let's join this together, and then this can be joined together, but the space is too big, so I think I'll add in a loop cut over there. Can I do this? Don't worry. Figure something out. Let's just proceed. So I'll do this. Then I'll do this. Then I'm going to slide this one over there. Then I'm going to do this. Okay, so adding a loop cut. Let's clean the mesh. It's hard because now we are having, see, smaller squares and then rectangles, but I will so much want them to be squares. I know that I said I am going to add in the subsoft modifier, or so I'm going to rip this apart. Delete this edge, and then I'm going to do this. I don't know, I'm just going with the flow. Thinking of what works best. I think I can tease up this, or I'm going to, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm still going to use a subsoft modifier, so that modifier is going to smoothen things out a lot for us. It is okay to have some jaggedy edges right now. It's to be fixed in a while. Oh, my edge flow. I need this edge flow. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this. If I observe anything funny, I'm going to come back and tweak it if there are any funny business over there. So let's go ahead with this part. Then I'm going to add in 2 loop cuts. I'm going to make it align with what we have. Select both of them, merge at center, select them, merge at center. Okay, so we have this. So add 1 loop cut here and 2 loop cuts over here. How does it look? It's fine. For this, I'm going to add loop cuts over here. So there's something I would want to do with this part. So I'll use a knife tool, and then I'm just going to redirect the edge flow, okay? So I'm going to dissolve this part out, and then I'll dissolve this part. Okay? Should leave the middle one like this. Yep, much better. So same thing with this one. Let's just use a knife tool and then just draw it out. So move this like this. Fine. Let's get over here. Same drill. Okay, for the knife tool. And then we're just going to redirect it. So, yep. Beautiful. So we just have a flat mesh. Let's give it some depth. Select everything. I'll come to my selection menu up here. I'll say boundary loops. Okay. I'll add this to it. And then I'll press Ctrl I to invert. So I switch to my face selection mode instead, okay? So that I can do, okay, so GY. Yep, this is much better. My cavity is turned on. Then I'm going to use one of my favorite matte cap, this. I can see that there's some strange shading over here. I'm sure that my face orientation is flipped. Aha. That's much. Okay, so I'm going to go to edit mode. Red is a wrong face orientation and blue is the correct one. You're not seeing blue because of the theme I'm using currently. So if I switch back to the blender default, okay, yep, this is going to be blue is correct face, red is wrong face. So I'll go to edit mode, select everything, and then I'll press Alt N and I'll say recalculate inside, or I cannot flip it. Okay, beautiful. So let's turn it off. And then I'm going to drag this out a tad to match with our reference. I think this is fine for now. So let's enable the y-axis so that we'll have this with just one mirror modifier. Let's see how it looks. Let's add in subsoft modifier. And then I'm going to auto smooth it. So if we look at our reference, you can see that we have this nice sharp transition around here like this. So it's same thing I'm trying to achieve over here, okay? So I'm going to turn on cage. So I'm going to clear sharp, and then from my end menu I'm going to disable this, and then I'm going to redirect it to this one, and then marker sharp. See, much better. Okay. Yep, I think this is beautiful the way it is, or should I add the loop cuts too? Okay, I think this loop cut might have done the trick, but it is stretching like crazy over there. It is pinching too much. Oh, yeah, look. Can you see that pinch? I think I'm going to take it out. Don't want that. And I don't want this as well. Let's turn off cavity. I don't want this sharpness. Thinking of the best way to shape this. Looking at our reference. Can you see the part I'm talking about? Something like this. So I am trying to get the same thing right. Okay, so I think I'm going to use something like this. If I stumble on another problem around this area, I'll have to come back to fix it. I still don't feel very comfortable with this one. I think this is better. So let's do the same thing for you. See, how does it look? El Magnifico. From what we have in our reference, let's see. Okay, this. Check out another one. Okay, this is fine. We want the tip to be narrow. Yeah, the limbs. We want them to be narrow. So we can leave this like this for now, and then come over here, select it, let's hide this, and then let's scale down the y-axis. Let's use sharp or linear. How does it look? Not sharp enough. I'm going to leave it in the defaults. Let's try sharp if I'm going to get what I'm looking for. That's fine, but I will have to work on the transition between displays. So let's do the same thing. Okay, so I think this is lovely, but I want to bring out this part some more. It will be sharp. Let's see how it looks with the reference. Yeah. I don't like the transition around here. I think I might use my sculpt brush. Enable symmetry. I don't want it to enable symmetry. My mirror modifier is still active, so I'm going to do its work. Same with this part. Let's see how it looks. Let's check with our reference. How does it look? Oh, it's fine. It's beautiful. Let's proceed. So because if I added the subsoft modifier, I have to just do some little realignments. Okay, I think this is lovely. So I want to make the grip this part. So I'm going to borrow data from what I already have. So press Shift D to duplicate and then right click to cancel that movement. Then I press P and separate by selection. So I'll go to my modifier and then I'll disable the mirror modifier and the subsoft modifier so that I can see how the mesh is. Now I'm going to move the mesh inside what we've already made so that it will look as if it's coming from inside the grip thingy. Now I'll select all 4 vertices and then I'll press F to fill in the face and then F again to fill in another one. So now I'm just extruding, extrude again, extrude it again, and then select all 4 vertices and then I'll press F to fill in the face. So now I'm just moving it across to make it fine, and then I'm going to add a vertex point there so that I can be able to curve my mesh. So I'll select all 4 of them and press F to fill in the face, and again another face, and I'm going to extrude down, select all 4 vertices and then F to fill in the face, and once more a face again. Now select the bottom and SZ0 to flatten it. Okay, so now I'm going to just adjust my vertex to match that curve over there. I'm doing that. As for this side, we are not going to see it, so let me just delete it. No need to carry extra information for nothing. I think we can stop here. Okay, so let's see how it looks. You know what? I think I should press I to insert first, and then because looking at the reference, I can see some thickness over here, and then this is another one. Yes, this is it. This expensive better. So we have a nice crease around here. So I'm trying to do the same thing. Let's right click, shade as a smooth. Let's delete all these faces. I feel it's too thick. Let's take out these faces. Okay, this is much better. And I'm going to slide that out and drag this one. Okay, same thing with this one. Drag it out a tad. I'm still going to bevel these edges. Let's make the grip. I am looking at the reference. This reference is not giving me insight to the grip. Thank God we have other references from PureRef, and then I am going to be using this one as a guide for the grip. So with it loaded, I'm just going to put it in my second screen. Remember, if you do not have PureRef, you can always bring in your image reference. You can always load in your image reference and just move it to one side of your screen while you work. But me, I have my PureRef and I am using it very well. It's free, but they'll ask for a step in. Not just give them or buy them a coffee. Yeah, that should be the right word. So let's make the grid nice. Off camera, I have named my objects in the outliner. Okay. So I'll select this one. I want to make the grip. If we are following this, you can see that we have this to be slant, and then it flowed over here, and this like this, and then same drift. Okay, so let's replicate same look. I'm going to go to edit mode. I'm wondering if I should take information or borrow information from here. Well, let's take just this single edge, shift it to duplicate, right click, P, separate by selection, go to object mode, and then here we have it. So I'll go to edit mode and I'll move this inside. Okay. So select this one, just plant it the way we have that one. Okay, plant, like this base, E to extrude. Okay, let's disable subsort first. Okay, we have it like this. Okay, we're trying to trace, and then it went up somewhere here and then out. Then this one just load in a card and then out. Okay, so let's put a point here. So let's fill in the faces. Okay, beautiful. Select this, E to extrude in the Y. Select this, E to extrude in the Y. Okay, let's add in a loop cloth here. Flatten it with S, Z, and 0. Let's enable pop-top modifier. Right click, get smooth. How does it look? Nice, I presume. Select this middle edge and take it out a tad. Okay. Looking at my reference, looking at what I have. Let's select this bottom edge and let's crease it. Okay. Select the top, crease. Not giving any effect. Let's check our face orientation. Okay, red is wrong, blue is fine. We are not seeing the blue, that's because of the blender theme I'm using. If I switch back to blender dark, and you can see blue is fine, red is wrong. But I'm gonna stick with professional. Then I'll select all the faces. Now press Alt N, and I'll do recalculate inside or recalculate outside, and it will switch back to blue if you're using the normal Blender theme. If not, using professional like me, this is going to look like. Oh, and also I'm using a matte cap, that's why it's looking brown. By default it should be studio like this. Okay, so I just enjoy using this beautiful brown matte cap. So let's turn off face orientation and let's continue to improve the grip. Okay, so select this head ring, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and then let's just scale it in. Okay, let's see, I need to make this actually sharp. Okay, so I'm going to select this one and crease it. So I'm going to select that edge and GG to edge slide. Same thing for the other one, GG and an edge slide. Now I'm checking out my mesh. Looks. Removing this crease because it does not make sense. Yeah, just looking around to see, rather comparing it with my reference. So now I'm trying to, or I want to make it look much like what I'm seeing on my reference. So I'm just selecting the point and then I'm moving it around. I think I'm getting there. Building the y-axis. So I'm going to select this middle, turn on proportional editing, and I'm going to switch to sphere, and then SZ to have that flow like this. Okay. I need to move this one. Sorry, disable proportional editing, and then move it down a bit. We can name this handle. Okay. So save your work, guys. Let's move on to making the limbs.